Evening, folks. Welcome to Screen Time Continuum, and I am the Mustard, and I'm joined here on this lovely Sunday evening with Nick and Keelan. How you guys doing?
Happy Sunday, man. Doing great. How are you?
Tired, but good.
Awesome. I'm feeling kind of the same. Just it's a Sunday. I don't know if it's the beginning of the week or end of the week. That's all about how you subscribe to the calendar. But yeah, it's definitely one of those days with a kind of a malaise. Is that the right word? Malaise.
Mm. hmm
I
Yeah.
can't say I don't know the word at all. It's new to my vocabulary.
Sounds like something you put on a biscuit.
you
Something.
know, I think that's a marmalade. But yeah,
Marmalade and molasses together
Yeah, that
is
was the first
malaise.
thing I thought he was gonna say.
really.
Like molasses.
No.
Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
What are you
You know,
It is
cooking?
slow. It's slow like molasses. I had a math teacher that said that he used to call us slow as molasses in December.
wow.
Yeah.
Well, December where though? That's the question.
I mean, I assume, I don't know, so the northern hemisphere, so it'd be
Definitely
cold.
can't be California or Florida, right?
Maybe not. Maybe not.
All right, you guys. So for tonight's show is since you guys know I did the intro, it is definitely my pick for tonight and my pick. I took a play out of the playbook from Nick, and I decided to cover the show Sweet Tooth. That is a Netflix original, and let's dive into this. So Sweet Tooth is basically a live action adaptation of a Vertigo comic in easier words saying a DC comic. And for me, we're gonna we're jumping into episode 1 and 2, of course. The season is 8 episodes long. So on this one, I think we're gonna try to go through 2 episodes per rounding, rounding like whoever turn it is, and probably get through this real fast. So this came out earlier this year. This show is. I read a little bit of the book. I didn't get to read through it all, but I was like, screw it. And by that time, that's when they finally announced, the live action show here on Netflix. And I had my skepticisms, like most shit that hit Netflix, especially with anime and things they try to take on. And surprisingly, I like what I've been watching so far. And I guess when your main producers are Robert Downey Jr. and his wife, I guess they're gonna try to get something right, along with a lot of creative input from the writer himself, Jeff Lemire, because it's his creation, of course. So let's jump into it. What did you guys think so far? The first 2 episodes.
Mm. Keelan, do you want to go first, or do you want me to
I could definitely take it first.
go
For
ahead?
myself, it's more than what I thought it would be for sure. To the point. Um, so my initial emotions, feelings, the initial shock of the show. I expected something fresh, something that I had never really heard of before, with familiar elements. Of course, that's usually how most new things go. You look for the familiar elements. Um, but the story itself is it's fresh, and I like the actors. The guy that plays Tommy, I've seen him in some other things, and I was excited to see this just based on him being in it. So far, I've gotten everything I could ask for, plus a little bit more, because I literally had no expectations for this show. It was either going to be good or bad. I approached it the same way I approached the Marvel series a few years ago when they had Luke Cage and Jessica Jones and Iron Fist. Like, I watched every last one of them just to see how well it would do, and I'm approaching this with the same fervor. But so far, this is actually blowing that out of the water.
You definitely did better than me, because me personally, I was on there with like fucking middle fingers blazing, like they're gonna fuck this up.
Yeah.
Would it
Yeah,
being Netflix?
yeah. I tried not. I really tried not to put too much on it. I think, maybe I'm just too critical. Usually, when I get like a bad notion around something, or I become too critical of it, I just lose interest. So I didn't want to put any of that energy towards it from my end.
All
But what
right.
about you, Nick? How do you feel?
Yeah. So let's see.
I didn't cry.
No, I didn't cry. Thankfully, that was nice. I will say that the first half of the first episode is a big ass bummer, and I almost bailed out because of the tone it was taking for the first half of the first episode. Then it decides to lighten up, ironically, after the dad dies, and I'm like, okay, so now I can see where like it's going. So some positives that I really enjoyed. The art direction is fantastic. The cinematography is very good. The color palettes that the director uses are gorgeous. I think that there's a lot of really interesting things to be talked about here. I will say, as far as the things that I don't enjoy at the moment, and I'm not saying that I won't enjoy them in the long run, but I don't know if I really want to watch a story focused around a pandemic. And that's just me being personal about we're going through right now. And I don't think that this is going to be exactly like that, although I do believe that, obviously Gus is the key to the cure. So but I don't know, there was a little bit of that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I felt like it was kind of taking advantage of the situation, whereas it had this come out without a pandemic that was going on, I probably wouldn't think of that at all. But so far I enjoy it. At the first half of the first episode, I was like, okay, where is this going? But now I'm starting to enjoy myself, and by episode 2, I was pretty darn invested. I will say that the guy that plays Tommy is Nonso and Nosy, and he's fantastic. And I think that he's kind of drawing me in at this point, as well as the little boy who plays Gus. I think he's really cute. So I'm interested. There's a little bit of weird. It is based on a graphic novel, so I don't know anything about the graphic novel. I don't know where the story is going, so I assume the things that are bothering me right now will be alleviated as the story progresses.
And you know what? I definitely do agree, because I was thinking, and I got hooked. Especially because of my wife, and my wife is just like, let's watch the rest of it, because we watched the first episode probably like 2 months ago. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I need something to watch. And I'm like, you know what, something new and fresh for us to kind of just jump in that we all have not seen. So I was like, you know what, screw it, let's take that chance. And I took my chance with this, and I'll say it straightforward, I'm 1 episode away from finishing, and I'm gonna rewatch it, because I don't want everything to bunch up right now in my head, and that's going to probably be my problem for this podcast, hopefully. So I'm going to rewatch all of these again, and it's something I don't know too much about from the graphic novels, because I read a couple of issues years ago, so this is definitely fresh. But what I was thinking when I first going through this series, I was like, holy shit. I'm like, yeah, interesting enough, this hits dead on the nose for what a lot of us is going through at the moment with this pandemic. And it really sucks. And you know what? I think a lot of people can relate, or it can definitely push people away from watching this.
Yeah. And I think what pushed me away a little bit was this notion that nature created a virus to wipe out humanity because humans are greedy and evil. And it was just like, come on, dude. Look, I know that there are certain people in our society who believe that we're just, sheep that can be corralled or whatever. But I hate seeing it in our pop culture, because I'm like, it bothers me. It bothers me when they take that sort of like cavalierness about, oh, humans are evil. They just kind of put the burden on every man, just the normal people. And it's like, well, no, come on, man. We all know who's creating the problem here. And it's not us normal folk.
And I will tell you this. No, go ahead, Keelan.
I feel like that's going to take a shift. There are a couple of hinting markers for that. One of which is Gus being clearly older than all of the others.
Mhm.
But just in general, what you're saying, I totally agree with just the way they went about it. But I'm questioning because I started questioning a lot of the pandemic stuff as well because it was way too familiar.
Mhm.
Even down to the like marker of different of
6
strains.
feet.
You know, there's different strains, 6 feet distancing.
Mhm.
It was the quarantine zone. There's a couple of different things.
The people at the dinner table with the
Mhm.
masks on.
With the mask, yeah, the N95 specifically.
Yeah.
So I felt like there were a few things that were kind of like, oh, you're poking fun at us right now.
You know
Mhm.
what?
But then he
I
also
wouldn't be surprised if they just threw that shit in production.
I
If a
think
lot
that
of
it's
it was still being done as of like last year, since it
right,
came out this year.
and that's exactly what I'm about to say is I question when all of that was filmed. Because it almost seems like every moment of this movie, with the exception of the very beginning with Will Forte, was shot during the actual pandemic.
Mhm.
The Will Forte stuff, I don't know why, but it feels like it was shot like right before everything really hit. It's something. It feels different. It
Yeah.
literally just feels different. It feels like it had a different energy around it.
Mhm.
Um, and I think it's because we've gotten used now to seeing what a post-pandemic shows look like. It felt like it had more people on set. Like just literally, it
Yeah.
just felt that way.
Yeah.
Um,
Ironically, he's the farthest away from humanity too. So,
uh-huh,
it's
uh-huh.
like, yeah.
So I'm thinking that extreme of him, as convenient as it is for the storyline, I'm thinking it was as much accidental as it was intended.
Mm.
Like the depth of it, the depth of
Mm.
it. And I think that's why it lightened up a little bit. I feel like they were gonna kind of go a little darker.
It
But I
seemed like it was going to get real dark, like
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
fast.
and I feel like it's still gonna get dark in points.
Yeah.
There were a couple of things I saw in episode 2 that made me think like this can go really bad, really
Mhm.
fast,
Yeah.
like really fast.
And
For
it's
sure.
it's interesting because I was just checking the publication when the first issue of this comic first came out, and well, graphic comic or graphic novels, whichever people prefer. It came out September, so basically it's like this year is like the anniversary. It came out this month. You know, September is about to end. It came
Yeah.
out September 2nd, 2009. So this shit is like I'm all about it. My math was like that's 10
Swine flu.
yeah,
Mhm.
around that time period, and it was just
Mhm.
like holy
Well, they
shit.
even call it H5G9.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
which
close.
is kind of H1N1. Yeah.
And by where I'm at, you guys are gonna see definitely some interesting turns, and I'm gonna spoil it in this sense that we'll get to see some darker turns, and we'll also get to see those light-hearted moments to balance it out. And
Mm.
last time I seen that in a television series was, I mean, it's straight comedy. It was Parks and Recreation,
Mm.
where it's like, oh my god, shit is just going bad. I mean, not in that dark tone, but it's just like, wow, it's not going good for them. But at the end of the episode, it was always something heartfelt and happy.
I
Right.
just want to say that lends something to the female creators. Honestly, it has to, because you just named Park and Recreation, female writer, female creator.
Michael Schur is not a female.
Um, okay, let me
But
see. How do I explain this in terms? If we're talking about what makes the show, I get what you're
Mm.
saying, and I understand what I just said and how that is conveyed.
Mm.
Sorry.
No, that's
So
right.
what makes the shows popular? Like what carries the show? I think
Okay.
it is the female essence in the room. I don't know if Parks and Recs is the show that it became without specifically what was it? I'm and Amy Poehler. That's not even without saying. Um, Tamala Jones, is that her name?
Hmm?
That played
Rashida Jones.
Rashida Jones. Thank you.
Mhm.
I'm trying to remember. My bad. I was trying to remember her name, but just what she carried, right? But I feel like every woman part in that was written perfectly. So there was always that essence of like, oh, okay, maybe Andy destroyed everything and then you turn around and you'd have a Rashida Jones scene with him or with her that just kind of balanced it all out. After that, you'd end up with April, who every time he messed something up, even though she wasn't like perfect, she'd balance it all out. Dang, I'm mad because now I got to go on this whole tangent to explain it.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. But you get what I'm saying. It was another
Yeah.
show though that I wanted to. Westworld. I kind of feel like it hits the same notes, and then so bringing it back around to this and knowing that Robert Downey is involved with it with his wife, like there has to be a larger amount of women in the writers' room and things of that nature. I realized what I said that did not convey what I was trying to say. Thank you for correcting me.
Oh no, it's just I'm a huge Michael Schur nerd, so I know all of them. I follow all of the stuff that he creates, but I understand what you mean. Yeah, right. Obviously Amy Poehler and Rashida Jones were probably writers for a lot of the episodes.
Right,
I would imagine
the word creator was not appropriate.
Well, yeah, contributor,
producers, producers and writers,
like major parts, and. You just saying that made me think heavily about Westworld, right? Because we're in the midst of that and this at the same time now. Knowing that you have two husband-wife teams on that and this, I only see good things coming for this because you kind of get. I think this is something that we talk about in short, or we have talked about in short, but just that essence of males write different from females, like how the writers' room has to be or should be split in some way. To talent, of course, but also to demographic. I don't know. I feel like we've had that discussion in different formats.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, I think that I think what we were speaking on was being wary of agendas, and while I think that this is trying to push a certain message so far, I don't think that it has necessarily an agenda, which I appreciate because I don't want to be preached to by a TV show. You know what I mean? That's why I was a little bit annoyed by the whole like, oh, humans are evil and they brought upon the end of the world. I'm like, please don't preach to me. Yeah, please, no. Like, just tell me a good story and we'll be all good. That's right. That's all I care.
And I can tell you guys will not be disappointed in that sense. Yeah. And I thought the same thing as well because I was just like, is this? And I was like, I have to do some background. no one with Robert Downey being a producer. He's probably with his hands with a smile on his face, like, oh, this would be perfect just to put it out there. Let's just do it. Just push it. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I appreciate him. I appreciate him because I literally just got through watching his 2020 interview with Joe Rogan. And I thought it was funny. I mean, I think Joe Rogan's he's an interesting person in my opinion. But I notice when he gets with certain people and he does interviews, it's kind of rapey.
Oh yeah, he does push people sometimes. Yeah,
and it was interesting because I've met Robert slightly. It was one of the weirdest experience through a customer I used to work for because of all the celebrities he was connected with. Very interesting person. It was like I was just sitting there looking at Iron Man the whole time in my head. But interesting enough, as a person, he goes through this interview with Joe Rogan because Joe Rogan's basically pushing the idea. He's like, you're coming back as Iron Man, and I'm going to paint the scenario for you on how you're going to become Iron Man, how you're going to come back. And I love Robert because he's dealt with so many bullshit, interviews, especially people coming back and ask him about his drug addictions and et cetera, et cetera. And he's just become this very witty person to kind of circle it. And I love him for the simple reason that he's just like, I want to try something different, regardless of it. And I'm really excited, because this show proves of him wanting to do something outside of, wearing the mask of Iron Man or dealing with Disney and, Kevin Feige and Marvel. So it's like.
It's a lot better than Dr. Dolittle.
Yeah. Say that shit again. I haven't even seen it, but I know I wouldn't touch it. But
I don't think I've ever seen any Dr. Dolittle movie, but continue.
Do it. No,
No. When I say any, I mean like the Eddie Murphy versions, the original. I don't think I've ever seen any Doctor Dolittle. Talking animals just wasn't my thing. Oh, I can't. I know. I lie.
So you
I
didn't watch
lie.
Garfield?
You're
I
watching
definitely watched
talking animals?
Garfield. But I lie
Yeah,
because
you are watching it.
Yeah.
remember that movie?
Ironic.
Remember that movie, Babe?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
I
wrong with
love that
Babe,
movie.
man?
So
I love that movie too. Come on.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Can't
It's
say I
got
didn't
Jigsaw in it.
What?
Wait, is that Jigsaw or is it the guy from American Horror Story?
He
It's
looks
one or
like
the
that
other.
dude.
Yeah.
Just thinking about it. I don't know.
I can't
I don't
remember.
remember.
And you know what?
Yeah.
I definitely do appreciate him and jumping out of that. And you see it with quite a few actors getting behind the producer role, or even the writer or director role, and they do great things. And I'm just happy. And hopefully this goes somewhere, and I hope you guys enjoy it going into the rest of the episodes.
Well, it seems to me that they have a good pool of source material.
Yeah.
This show strikes me as something that's going to try to stick to the source material. I don't know. I mean, because I haven't read the graphic novel, but I would assume that the map is already kind of laid out for them. So the embellishments I see is where they're trying to attach the virus in the show to kind of like COVID. They're kind of treating it like COVID, and I could see that they were trying to make the parallels a lot. The 6-foot distancing and the people with masks, and the weird way that it just pops up out of nowhere, no matter where you are.
Yeah. There is So Nanzo is in a different show, not a movie. He's in another movie or so that I've heard of. But
Can we just call him Big Man?
Big Man. We could also call him Red, but that's only if you have Amazon Prime and you've ever seen this Childish Gambino movie. But so Nanzo is in another show called Zoo that's on Netflix. And it kind of carries the beginning, at least carries a very similar sentiment, and it's ironic how similar his characters are. Like in this one, he is clearly a former poacher, blah blah blah, mercenary, whatever you want to call him. In that show, there's a breakout of a virus from animal. You remember that one? I remember
that show too. Yeah, it was on a CBS or some shit.
Yeah,
I never knew it was on actual TV.
He worked at the safari park or something like that.
In Africa. Yeah. And so you guys know all that. So, but he was basically the same guy, except just a different life.
I think he even had a rifle in that one too.
It wasn't as cool as this one though.
Yeah.
But essentially, so just paying attention to that, like clearly they are aware of who plays well in certain roles, as well as if they allow the same openness and availability, and even considering, I'm not really sure who did Zoo, but considering you have a larger name like Robert Downey Jr. connected, I'm sure they'll give them a little more freedom of creativity. So if they were able to do that with Zoo, I can only imagine how far they're going to be able to go with this. I really want to see good things.
I think that there's probably going to be a good amount of interesting material. Kind of, I'm look forward to the story building aspects, because I do want to kind of see what this world is like. It's strange to me because when I was watching the first episode, it was like on the TV and the president's like, "This is it, this is happening," and on the scrolling marquee it says 1 million dead worldwide, and I'm like, I'm like, wait, why is there pandemonium because of 1 million people dead?
Well, it wasn't just me that thought that.
I mean, that's going through the past, year and a half in lockdown kind of desensitized me to that. It's awful, obviously, but it did make me chuckle a little bit. So I think that obviously there must be more to it than just like the virus and then pandemonium for no reason, you know.
But again, that's what makes me wonder when this was written and filmed.
Yeah.
Another one of those things that made me as well, like,
I think it was before 2020, because this was been in the works like late 2018 when I came across this, and they were starting to put their team together to get this jump started.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure he had a ticket to Event 201 though. I'm joking.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
That's a great movie. You can watch that on YouTube.
I was just about to say, no, you can Google this on YouTube.
Yeah.
Hey now.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
What do you guys think of speaking of people kind of like retaking up their roles or something familiar?
Will
I thought it
Forte.
was Will Forte.
Yep.
I was just like,
Last Man on Earth.
Yeah, I thought
Yep,
it was.
that's what I
was
thought
like,
too.
is this a sequel to The Last Man on Earth?
It's Last Man on Earth has a kid.
What I will have to say is I'm calling bullshit right now that they ever were found by anybody. If you watch Will Forte hiking into that cabin, like he hiked miles and miles and miles away from any type of road. I don't care if there's a fire. You're not there. People, and this is what kind of bothered me because I'm like, okay, so they're like, let's say they're 100 miles in the middle of the forest
and
somewhere.
he was in Yellowstone.
In Yellowstone,
Yeah,
which is a gigantic forest.
Right. He was in Yellowstone, but outside of the quote unquote foraged or explored territories.
Yeah, I mean, but there is no fence. I just think, but yeah, I mean, they must have put the fence up afterwards or something like that. But it is weird to me that they were found at all. I mean, it seems kind of convenient. And second, it also I don't understand, and I'm sure we will find out more, is why the hell I guess the poachers are hunting the hybrids because they think they caused the disease, right?
Oh no. I figured that out already. They're hunting the hybrids because by killing the hybrids, they can synthesize something from them to get that serum that's treating the people who are sick.
Okay. I mean, I could see that. They did say something about a lab, so yeah.
Have you been peeking more into the episodes, good sir?
Who, me? No. In episode 2, when Dr.
Please, because like I said, I'm binge watching it. I'm like, oh shit, things are over. I need to be reminded. I can only remember that fight scene in the rain in episode 2.
Okay, so episode 2, you have Dr. Singh, right? I remember Dr. Singh earlier, and his wife was sick, and yada yada yada. So, episode 2, when she needs to go get he has to go get patch. That. And then what's her name? Gladys.
Yes.
Gladys. Gladys is telling him, she has cancer. She's retiring. It's his job. He takes the book. He gets home. He's freaking out. His wife reads the book, and she starts freaking out. She turns and looks at him, and I'm thinking the only thing it could be is they take the kids, they kill the kids, and that's how they're getting the serum.
Also, the vaccine has the same insignia that the military guys would have on their patches. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. A marker. Yeah. So they're rounding up the hybrids. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I mean, I thought they also kind of blamed the hybrids on the disease, right? Because like a lot of people.
They were trying to, but that's like one of those, because there was also the scene where Tommy was talking in the cabin, and they said that to him, and he's like, I don't know why people still believe that. And it's that was one of those things that took me back to what we're currently going through. Just like you don't know what to believe, what not to believe.
It's bat soup. It's bat soup. Okay. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and it's like yeah, true. You're throwing out the ignorancy of it.
Bat soup.
Oh, bat soup. Well, I mean, the origins of our current predicaments is was allegedly that people were having bat soup.
All right, never mind.
And in this sense, it's kind of great because it's not great, but it's interesting because I'm like, it's one thing like, what is it? What Stephen Hawking says about, is it Stephen Hawking? I think it's Stephen Hawking, a dude in a wheelchair with a crippling disease. What he says about how the human
also
race,
a very famous astrophysicist.
No, that's not what we remember him for. You're not going to change what we remember him for. I mean, I know he's an astrophysicist. I would have described him the same way.
The dude in the wheelchair with the robot voice.
I would have described him the same way.
The dude from fucking the new Harry Potter spinoff.
How about this? Look. How about this? Let's pause for a minute. Do you think more people know that Neil deGrasse Tyson is astrophysicist, or more people know that he was once like Jet sexiest man of the year or something like that? Which one do you think more people know?
I think that I think that he's more recognizable as a wrestler than an astrophysicist.
He was a wrestler?
Yep.
I just know he was
a
like,
collegiate wrestler.
oh wow, I know he was
Yeah.
like supposedly like sexiest man alive, like 4
That's
times running.
That's a slight dig at Neil deGrasse Tyson. Stay in your lane, Neil.
I mean, seriously, think about it. Give us another 10 years. How many people I mean, if we survive another 10 years, how many people you think is going to remember Schwarzenegger as a governor?
Yeah.
Not as many as that will remember him as Mr. Olympia or Mr. Universe or Terminator.
Or the
et cetera.
or the offspring of a certain German army.
Oh yeah, you know. No, nobody remembers that. That's like us
Nope.
and like a handful of other people.
Mm-hmm.
No. Usually we joke about that off air. So
We are getting spicy on this episode. All right, something about Sweet Tooth is bringing up all the inappropriate. See, this is the problem. It paralleled too closely to the pandemic, and now we're circling the topic of it because it's trying to tie too closely to it.
Bringing us back to politics. How do we even get
this is trash.
We're good.
You brought up the governor. That's what happened. I see what you were trying to do there.
As a coworker told me, he doesn't want this video game because the writer is a woke writer. And I looked at him like, you dumbass, you know you're still going to buy it. That's just how stupid I know you are.
I was about to say, I don't know how people don't realize if you know that much about something, they've already got you.
That's true. If they're living rent-free in your head, they already got you. Yeah.
I tell people, I said, man, what the fuck is the definition of woke? They're like,
it's the same thing as hipster now. It's literally the same thing.
And I'm just like, how has the world not been woke 20, 15, 50, whatever years ago? Every media has a level of hypocrisy or political correctness or whatever.
Yeah.
Is as you choose to be knowledgeable about it in current day.
Yeah, the Progressive Party has been around for quite some time, so it's not really new. But yeah, I mean, the colloquialisms change over time. I mean, woke used to mean red, like taking the red pill like Neo in the Matrix, being awake. You know what I mean?
Now it just means being an Instagrammer.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
There is it was the same thing like with Jojo Rabbit. It was a lot of ignorancy behind that movie, and I did see a lot of ignorancy behind this show at some bit. And look, I get it, but going back, and I didn't think about it until when you said back 2009 when you said the swine flu, and I was like, yeah, you're right. And I'm like, when this was written, it was back in that pandemic. It's like basically like a what if for this writer and his creation. And I mean, there's probably so more other things we can compare it to that probably will be. And Robert Downey and his team, I can tell you, they have balls to release this show with its theme at this time and period. But I think not only with that certain message, but also a message of, of being optimistic, have a sense of hope, and still hold kindness in your hearts.
Yeah, and I have to say the little boy right now is really carrying that theme for me. If it wasn't for him, this show would be so bleak. So the fact that he still has a certain sense of like childhood innocence to him is actually really good because it juxtaposes against this really harsh world that exists. So, and obviously he's slowly breaking down the big man, breaking down those walls, and he's going to get a friend in the end. So, well, we'll see.
We see.
Yeah.
and it's a very relatable thing. And you know what? Yeah. I needed that for this show, and I get a comparison when I look at my son, looking at a little 3-year-old. I'm like, I can't get to that level. There's so much more to come.
It's the old lion protecting the cub, right? It's like that trope that we see time and time again. I mean, the Mandalorian did it with Baby Yoda.
Yes.
And it's that like the helpless thing that needs the protection from the really dangerous man.
Well, except Baby Yoda is not helpless.
No, that's certainly true. Well, and I think we're starting to see too that Gus isn't helpless either.
That's a old ass baby.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is an old baby. He's like what? It's like they said he was like 100 years old or something.
He's like 300 years old already.
Oh my god, damn!
I really thought it was 3 or something.
It's like the Japanese in Okinawa, like they believe that for you to be an adult, you got to be 50.
Oh yeah. That's because they all live to like 100 years old.
Look at what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, your adulthood is 50 out there.
Hey, they got it right over there. There's something in that soil, man. There's something in their dirt.
Working.
Yeah,
Right? If it's working.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to Pubba because he never gets a real name. Pubba.
His name is Richard, I believe. Right?
Richard Fox.
Richard Fox.
Why would you ruin that for me?
Oh, sorry. I don't know. Is
No,
that that's not a spoiler? Yeah, it's on IMDb.
Yeah. I mean,
It was
in the
given to me. What are
episode, though, nobody calls him Richard or Ricky.
No,
or,
I know. Yeah.
Someone called him Dick.
Dick, right? But so he finds this cabin that has running water. Yeah.
No, it's a stream that he irrigated into a running water.
Where was the stream?
You saw him do it when he was doing it with that he cut up the tires to make the
Yeah, I saw him make that, but I didn't see where the water was coming from. That's all.
Oh, it was a stream behind him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's the same stream that the kid jumps on the rocks.
That dude was ready. I can tell you, man.
Oh, that's pretty close, huh?
That dude was ready.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
Pubba?
he was beyond ready. He was definitely the last man on Earth.
Yeah, he
Just way smarter.
Seemed to have, way
ready.
smarter.
Yeah, definitely apocalypse ready.
Yeah. I mean, that was a really interesting. I mean, again, I really enjoy how the show is shot. I really enjoy the colors that they use. They use a lot of primary colors. There's something about the art design that I really enjoy. It's probably because it's a graphic novel, so they're staying true to it. Yeah,
it seems very easy on the eyes.
Yeah,
seems very easy on the eyes. I'm not sure what that's about, but I agree with you.
Glad they didn't go with this look. I'm glad. I'm about to show you guys something real quick because I've been like, damn, if they actually went, head deep with it, I'm like, Gus could have been fucking Michael Cera.
No more Michael Cera.
I might say so everybody can get cussed out on set every day.
Yeah, pretty much.
you can drink that Capri Sun.
Elvis look like they did yesterday. This is not how they looked yesterday. Not
while he sips a juice box
through his ass. It was a Capri Sun too.
Sip time.
Capri Sun suppository?
Yeah, have you seen This Is the End?
No.
Oh my god, that has to be a pick. Oh my god.
Yeah.
You get to see Kevin Hart die.
Just so I can see this. It's a Capri Sun suppository. That's why we got to watch that, huh?
No, there's much more than that, man. We get the Pineapple Express sequel.
Yeah.
We get to see Kevin Hart get swallowed up in a sinkhole.
Channing Tatum is a gimp.
Oh, yeah.
So this is almost a real life story.
Yeah,
pretty much.
We also get to see Jonah Hill get raped.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't want to see that in any way.
We get Emma. We get Emma. Was it Emma Stone? Not Emma Stone.
Emma Watson.
Emma Watson. Be Thug Life, man. Come on, it's a great movie.
So Hermione out there popping capping fools.
And we get to see Backstreet Boys in their prime. Come on.
Oh gosh, I don't think that's their prime.
Hey, you should see them now. I seen them 2 years ago trying to perform at the fucking Grove.
Were they back again?
Well, they were back. I'm like, you need to stop, bro. They need to stop. But, oh well, that's not me. They making their money.
Hey man, I want to say, hey, look, if they gonna still pack the house and get a check for it, I say they should do it until they old. Walking up there with canes, they gotta pick their canes, talking about "Girl, you are."
You know what? And they did. They did. It wasn't as bad when 4 years ago I went to Santa Cruz and I'm sitting there watching at the pier watching Smash Mouth. It's just fucking crickets.
Oof.
Did they at least perform All Star before you left?
Twice.
Oh shit! No, not
Twice.
just once. That's supposed to be like your closing song because you're Smash Mouth. Be an All Star, go play, and get off my stage.
Somebody once told me.
Listen, I'm gonna
Just
say
think of
this.
Shrek.
Right. Well, I'm just gonna say this because I don't want to make it seem like I'm totally destroying their careers. The kids of today are still singing that song. Like 7 and 8-year-olds are walking
It's a
around.
meme.
It's a meme. Yeah, it's definitely a meme.
Mhm.
But they still love Shrek, so they're literally just walking around, and they'll just bust out "Somebody Once Told." It's like, whoa,
Yeah.
Until they see Shrek the Third with Justin Timberlake.
So that's
Sweet
sick.
Tooth.
So the guy that comes to the fence that scares the crap out of Pubba or Richard.
Bubba's fine.
Dick.
You know what I mean? That scares the guy though, and takes the broom, makes it look like he has a gun, which I don't think was believable.
I think it was far enough for it to kind of be
somewhat,
questionable. Yeah.
My boomstick.
A lot of those it was a lot of ribbons on the gate. Like that was a lot of ribbons in a short period of time.
Yeah, I think he probably had put those ribbons up
he didn't see 'em at
before,
first.
and he just didn't see him at first. Yeah, that's kind of the way I think about it. But I mean, it's also like, so was that guy infected? Because
I'm believing so.
Obviously gave
yeah.
Pubba the sickness,
and I think they were hunting him as well. I think they hunt the sick people because they're running, and they hunt for the kids.
Let's see. I'm sorry. Even though this is my pick, I need a recap. Did you guys in episode 2? Did they show what they do with the sick?
No, not yet.
No.
All right.
The episode 2 episode 2 ends with them basically taking the gondola away from that family, and then you see the panda. Well, and the pig baby, yeah. But then you see the panda with the skull, who sees the gondola moving.
Oh yeah.
And,
okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and pig baby.
Do you guys see Robotnik yet?
Huh?
Robotnik?
All right.
Nope. No.
Cut it off, man.
Yeah. I wonder if that pig baby is an allusion to the swine flu too.
No, I think they are just trying to. Okay. I personally thought they were just trying to round the bases of how many different chimera children they could create.
I also found it surprising. Well, yeah, that is a whole nother thing. Well, yeah, that's exactly what they are. Yeah. And I also found it surprising that apparently Gus is the only deer hybrid.
Apparently he's the oldest as well.
Right. Yeah. He's 1 year older than the rest of them. Mm-hmm. And obviously, and apparently he's the only one that can talk too. So it seems like most of these other hybrids are more animal than human.
So something is different about it. And that is what led me to start thinking. Once everybody was shocked that he could talk, and he was supposedly so much bigger or larger than everybody else, they've been hiding for 9 years.
Yeah.
It made me start thinking about, like, in reality, what's not just what's going on today, but just how this is all playing out on screen. Like, what are they really building up towards with him being separated from the rest? Like, he's not like the rest of them. So are they building up to this being like a corporate thing? Are they building up to, like you were alluding to, them saying how terribly we've treated the planet? Now it's the planet fighting back by changing the natural course of things. Like, there are a couple of different ways they could take this, but one of those ways is wrong.
Well, I think that they're heavily implying that Gus has a connection to the animal world, because you keep seeing the deers come up, and then the second episode, that giant stag appears behind him when he's facing down the last mercenary.
And the same as Amy as well.
The Harry Potter, his Patronus appears.
But the same as Amy as well. I was definitely thinking of that as too.
Did that happen with Amy? Oh,
So
with
Amy
the
not getting
eagle.
stampeded.
Yeah,
Well, her not
right.
getting stampeded. And was that an eagle? That was an eagle or a hawk? An eagle?
A hawk, yeah. But first of all, the fact that there would be half a dozen African elephants anywhere is preposterous, and they would not be roaming around the city. That's why I don't understand what's happening in this world. Like, where are all the people that everybody just die? I mean, I guess we'll find out.
I'm thinking because we found out about that population of folks in the suburbs. Yeah. I'm thinking everyone, like the guy said, everyone is in their company. Like, so you'll probably have like the upper class and the suburbs. You have the slums, but for the most part, everybody's pocketed off.
Right.
Yeah, that's what it seems now.
So I could see the streets definitely being desolate. I mean, she never even took the time to close the gates to the.
I know. She just lives in the zoo.
Right. And also for somebody to just drop the pig baby off at the zoo and then you come out and take it. Now people are going to know you're there.
Okay, right. A clearly deserted zoo too.
Somebody knew she was there.
Yeah, somebody asked them that.
No, I don't think that's what that was. I think that was panic parent moment. We see it in real life. But
everybody's dead. The entire zoo is dead.
We see it in real life.
Why would you drop it off? But why would you put it in for? But then that makes no sense. Just throw it over a cliff if you wanted to kill it.
I don't. Well, and that's the thing is, I think in their mind, like they think like, oh, somebody could find it. Like maybe it'll get a chance. Maybe an animal.
The zoo is open. Oh fuck this! A pig baby came out of my vagina.
Put the pig baby with one of its own. Like I don't know. I just
feed it to a tiger. Just whatever.
Yeah, I think that's. Hey, listen.
Just zoo stuff. Yeah.
Zoo stuff.
Poor
but
baby.
I think it sucks to say it, but I think her taking in the baby was a bad idea because now people know she's there.
Well, and she's also then a target because apparently all of these people are trying to kill hybrids. I mean, yeah, it makes more sense that the hybrids would have some sort of connection to the vaccine, because I wouldn't understand why they would continue to hunt them if they thought they were harboring the disease.
Well, that's the thing that I think it was stupid. Like it seemed like no one would really be like, hey, maybe they might be the key. But no, since this virus outbreak showed up soon as they were all born, so they must be the reason for it.
Well, yeah, right. I think that's what the smart people are doing, and that's why I think that's what's going on with the cure.
Right.
Or the treatment more so than the cure, because the cure is not there yet.
Yes, the treatment lasts apparently 28 days.
Mm-hmm. 28 days. Yeah, 28 days. That's crazy. Sounds like chemotherapy to me.
Yeah,
no, more like dialysis, huh?
They make the. It's crazy because it seems like, what's his name, Adid?
Yeah, Adid, I believe.
I think Adid is like
Adil. Yeah, Aditya.
He's the only one that gets this vaccine treatment.
First of all, Homeboy has been exposed multiple times and he hasn't gotten the disease.
Yep.
His wife had it, and he was a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I think he's the cure.
Could be,
I don't think everybody can catch it.
Yeah, I think it's like selective. It's kind of like going back to that show, The Last Man on Earth. Like when we kind of see that with Will Fort's brother in a movie, which was played by Jason Sudeikis. Like everybody else was like healthy as fuck,
right?
But he ended up catching it, even though he's been in space the whole fucking time. And it was like one of the arguments. I didn't watch the rest of that before it got canceled, but I think it was just like the whole argument. Well, we didn't want to bring kids in here because we don't know if they'd be able to survive.
Also, another question. Amy, who was the cursed girl in Heroes, by the way, if y'all remember Heroes season 2.
From Mexico.
Yeah. The one that killed everybody when her eyes turned black. I don't know how she survived in her office for months.
I mean, she was accumulating water and food somehow, so she had to leave out at some point.
I think she just went back.
I don't know.
I think she probably seen all the chaos. I'm like, you got some stupid motherfuckers. Locked herself in the office and let people just go. Like, I think that was probably the smartest thing to do.
Oh, it was. But I mean, as far as getting resources, you can't not have food and water for months on end.
She was
I think it was probably all in the office building.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, she
But I mean,
probably
so-
definitely could have survived a few months off of Nutty Buddies.
Yeah, but not without water.
No, there was definitely a water accumulation. There went from no water to a few gallons and a few liter bottles too.
Mm.
I
Especially
remember
in
that.
some
I
places,
saw
you probably
that.
got like filtered water, a kitchen or some
Right.
cafeteria.
Yeah, no, there was even like Snapple juice or something in the. I remember that.
But it also
Oh,
looks
for
like the electricity is out too, right? In
Yes.
some
Seems
respects. Yeah.
that way.
I'll be
I mean,
blowing
because
up the
there's some
people about
basically society just collapsed completely
Within minutes.
within minutes of it being announced.
And like the guy said, once the internet went down, all hell broke loose.
I mean, it seems like all hell broke loose once the president came on TV. You heard like, and when she barricaded herself in the office, people were getting shot.
Right.
People were getting shot.
Immediately.
It was like immediately, all right, it's pandemonium. Everybody's just shooting each other now.
But believe it or
that's-
not, I mean, we came close to that shit last year on the whole stupidity of shit. Like,
I mean,
fucking toilet paper, man.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Never soap. Not once was it soap. Nasty.
No.
Yeah, I'm like, you don't want to bathe your ass. You can be a fucking
Hand
ass
sanitizer.
dude.
Hand sanitizer was gone for a
Ew.
while, but now it's back.
Yeah, but
thankfully.
that's not
I
soap.
give me some Lysol wipes.
Hey, it's better. It's better than nothing. I got tons of Lysol wipes, man. I keep that shit on lock.
Keeps that shit on.
Yeah.
you got to now, but
Hey, look, you run
Yeah,
out.
I mean-
some water, and some bleach. That's all you need. With some,
I got bleach too, man.
with some brawny. Put that in the bottle. Shake it up. You got your own. white
we were doing that shit. Amara was all on. My wife was all on that shit, making our own sanitizer.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like-
yeah.
A lot of that shit was just like, I forgot we had some shit, and I'm like, it was making my vision blurry. I was like, yeah, this shit's not good.
Oh, wow.
I was like,
No.
You
yeah,
didn't
you
boil
gotta
your
go.
you didn't boil your drinking alcohol for ethanol, did you?
No, dude, it was some of the shit I was buying. It was a lot of
Yeah,
shit
they're just
stuff
putting
was
vodka.
made.
They're just putting vodka in bottles. Honestly,
It was
Some
That's
of
terrible.
like yeah. Some of them are just literally putting vodka in little spray bottles.
I've seen some definitely unconcentrated ones that smell like terrible as hell. But
Mhm. Smell like Sky vodka. That's exactly what it
for the
smells like.
flavoring.
Mint flavor.
That's hilarious. And even in this, they had hand sanitizer at their doctor when they went to the
Mhm.
appointments and whatnot.
hmm
And I also think it was interesting. So when Dr. Singh goes to see Gladys, I like how she's describing or explaining how breast cancer in women was already something that was kind of overlooked. So it don't matter now, even to somebody, even when somebody is doing the work that she's doing, like she couldn't get the kind of help or the attention.
Well, another allusion to what's going on in the real world right now is so many people are missing
yeah.
out on screenings because they're afraid to go to the hospital.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
we've had an increase of like something like 300% in cancer rates for people.
And,
Oh,
and
wow.
next to that, a lot
Yeah.
of hospitals and clinics are afraid to see patients based off of certain things. And I'm a victim of that.
Mm.
A couple of months ago, my son was sick and he wasn't COVID positive or anything. It's just they did not want to take him because
Yeah.
he had a cough and a fever. And I was like, wow, what the fuck the purpose of becoming a physician? It's like you become a
Do
police officer
TikTok
to get shot
dances.
at.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm like they didn't know it's called the front lines for a reason.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers. But anyways, I'm gonna stop.
That's all right. Well, this is why we like escapism in our movies and TV shows. You get too close to reality and then we start talking about reality.
How it goes.
It is. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
at a point we end up with Gus following Nanso, Gus following Tommy. And
Big
of
mouth.
course it's against Tommy's wishes, but I like the nocturnal scene. Like, let me guess, you're
Mhm.
nocturnal too. It's like, yo, are those glowing eyes behind him?
Mhm.
That was
And
dope.
then-
That was
yeah,
dope.
that
It was
was pretty
scary.
And
Mhm.
even when like he's there, they get to the cabin and they're hanging out and they're going to sleep, and then they turn off the lights and he's looking at the parents. It's like, oh shit,
Yeah.
wasn't expecting
Yeah,
that.
that
That's
was good.
creepy.
Yeah.
I love his reaction. That dude.
Yeah. Well, and I'm so glad that those people didn't die. I really thought that like they were all going to get murdered just because like the mercenaries were coming in.
Dude, Big Man
Thankfully,
took care of
Big
them.
Man took care of it.
The bad people.
Yeah. Because also I saw the title for episode 2 and it said sorry for all the dead people. And I was like, oh god damn it, are they gonna kill that nice family?
God damn it.
Thankfully they
They
did not.
did not
So,
though. They did
yeah.
not, yeah.
Buddy Rusty.
Rusty,
Rusty was wow. I thought Rusty was gonna be kind of a prick kid, but it panned out.
It was nice.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
He was curious. It's like, yeah, he's going through something too,
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah. Well, anything else?
The mercenaries suck, and I want to know why Tommy is Warren Sapp, Ray Lewis, and Spawn at the same time.
Hey, you found out he was a football player.
Well, we found out he was a football player at the very beginning.
Right. Oh, I'd like to learn more about whatever guild he was a part of because he seems like he was a part of rounding up some people.
Mm-hmm. That's what I mean. It sounds like he was top notch.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when she was looking at the emblem, it looked like one of those Alpha Omega symbols.
Yeah.
It's the emblem. It's the same emblem that's on the patch and on the bottle. That's what's tattooed.
Okay.
It's a brand. It's a brand.
So he was the last man for sure. What she was saying.
Well,
yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm sure he did some pretty awful stuff.
You guys would definitely get to see that in episode 3 and 4.
Hey man, look, I didn't expect for him to jump into the action so quick, so I expect him to beat somebody up every 2 episodes now.
I thought the action was a little bit PG. I was kind of surprised. I thought they were going to go a little bit more hardcore. I thought we were going to see a bear trap chop somebody's head off.
Right. I didn't feel that way until they didn't chop his head off, and then I was like,
"Oh, you panned away." Yeah.
I was like, "Are they saving money or are they building up? Which one?"
Right.
Because this definitely ain't about ratings.
Because it's Netflix.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So it's not about ratings. Are you saving money, or are you just gonna cower out on us?
Yeah.
Or excuse me, or are you building up? Are you is it gonna progressively get gnarlier? I'm all for that.
I guess we'll have to see.
I'm all for the slow build, man. It's like a good rap song.
Sounds good. All right. Anything else, guys?
No, that's it.
No, that's about
for me, it's it.
Yeah, that's all for me. I enjoyed the show. I'm excited. I almost binged into like episode 4 or 5, and I was like, wait, let me stop.
Yeah, trust me. If I kept this to myself and watched it on my own, I would have waited. No, I would have waited. It's more of my wife's is like, I want to watch the rest. It's something that we can do together. So like, why not? But I'm gonna rewatch them because I feel like shit.
You got to refresh.
Remembering episode 2 right now.
Oh, that's why I have to do the same thing with Westworld. It's like I got to watch the episode right before the show so that I know like exactly what's in that episode, and that's it. You know.
Yeah. And this time I'm not going to do that again. This time I will use the feature on Netflix I've never used but used on YouTube, and that's that whole fast forward shit like that X2 watching it. So that'd be fun when I do that.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah, 2 times speed. Yeah.
I'm sitting here like, yeah.
What? All right, you guys. All right. Well, man, we'll be the next time. It is your pick next time, Galen. And after that, we're back to Westworld. Then we're back to this.
Yep. Next Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah, I will definitely have something for you guys on Wednesday.
Is it Tomorrow World?
Sounds foreboding.
Is it Tomorrow World to celebrate
Tomorrow World? Maybe.
Tomorrow not World. Tomorrow
it could be
World.
Tomorrow World. No, Tomorrow World. It could just be Tomorrow World.
That's what that movie should have been called. We're gonna find
might be Land Before Time. Who knows?
Hey,
I'm cool with that.
Littlefoot.
That's right.
The Stars is what, $3 for 3 months? Why not?
For sure.
All right. Whatever is going to be fun.
It will be.
It's going to work out. It's going to
house party
be better than the last few or maybe not the last few, but some of the last few. I'm still taking shots into the dark though. I'm not worried. I'm in the kitchen with the lights out and the janitor locked the box.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
That's right.
So there you go.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So like Shaq at the free throw line?
Oh no. I'm shooting a higher percentage than that.
Yeah. Actually, Shaq probably would have gotten a few in if he hadn't shot the ball.
Yeah, I'll take Mutombo at the free throw line. I want to say he was still like 70% or something.
Respectable.
Like Iverson said, practice.
Talk about practice.
Hey man,
practice.
Hey man, one day we could watch like an Iverson doc, and then I can give my take, and we can talk about the whole scenario and how that went down. Because there's some stories about what was really going on, and they do that man dirty. But I'm glad he has
don't worry. I got all that on DVD right now.
You know what I'm talking about? Okay. It's great though.
All right, who wants to take us out?
We can do that. Let's say thank you to everybody out there for listening. We really appreciate it. We hope that you enjoyed this episode. Please watch Sweet Tooth with us. If you haven't seen it on Netflix, and if you have, please consider watching our recaps of it and let us know what you think about our takes about Sweet Tooth on Netflix. Thank you so much, you guys, for listening. We really appreciate it. Please consider giving us a comment and maybe a thumbs up and a subscription to our YouTube page. It would really help us out. We're trying to build that YouTube page up. We're trying to get those subscriber counts up, and we just need your help very much. So if you don't mind, we would very much appreciate if you hit that little subscribe button down there on the YouTube page. And thank you so much. If you want to check out what we do on our separate podcasts, Keelan got a podcast. It's called If Numbers Could Talk. It's on at Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Please make sure you check him out. He's got a Facebook page and a YouTube page, If Numbers Could Talk. Again, on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Dijon the Mustard's got a Twitch channel called Strawberries and Coffee. He's on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 p.m. And then on his YouTube page, he posts the next day, Strawberries and Coffee. Make sure that you go subscribe to his Twitch channel and his YouTube page. Make sure you're catching up on all of the streams that he's doing. I got a podcast called Exofathom. It's coming back tomorrow night at 8 p.m. We are doing an episode about human life force. And so if you want to check that out, we're at Exofathom on Facebook and YouTube. But if you're a purist at heart and just want to hear us blabber on about movies and TV and critique things for which we have no credentials to critique, thank you for taking this trip through the Screen Time Continuum with us. For Screen Time Continuum, I am Nick.
I am Keelan.
I'm the Mustard.
Good night.